Maybe you've heard of the law of attraction. Watch the hit movie The Secret. They're not telling you some very important things. Some very important things that are blocking you from manifesting what you want into your life. So this is Jake Ducey with JakeDucey.com, and when I learned this stuff, I watched the movie The Secret, I made my vision board, I did all those things, but I wasn't getting everything that I wanted. I wasn't really using law of attraction the way that the movie said you could use it, even though I was following all those steps. And what I found is there's very important missing links. So in this video, I'm going to share with you the missing link between what it is that you want and where you are now, and how you can bridge that gap to attract what you want a lot faster than you think is possible. Like when I learned this, things started showing up and it was almost like the floodgates opened, and I started wondering, like, why didn't that happen faster? And the same thing is going to happen for you. What you want is going to show up a lot quicker. So this is Jake Ducey with JakeDucey.com. Let's dive right into this video. If you have not subscribed yet, be sure to hit the subscribe button right over there and hit the bell notification, because that's what's going to notify you for new videos. Subscribe, bell notification. Let's get right to the video. So this is a video where I'm talking about what we didn't learn, what you didn't learn from the world, what you didn't learn from The Secret. And you know, I was a 19-year-old college dropout. I decided that I wanted to become an author, and I had all these dreams and aspirations. I didn't have the resources, I didn't have the networking, I didn't have the connections, I sure didn't have the education, and I even failed junior English class in high school. And I had this idea and of what I wanted to be, and it wasn't showing up in my life. And I actually, a couple years ago, I listened to something from a man named John Assaraf, who's become a mentor of mine. He has an online workshop that's free, and it was called the Brain-A-Thon. And he said that your brain is a living artifact of your past. Your brain is a living artifact of your past. That your brain is literally a reflection off of your past. And I was like, that's why I haven't gotten what I wanted. Because I failed junior English class in high school. I was a first team all San Diego basketball player. I was never good at school. I always thought I wasn't very intelligent. I was actually for a while on attention medication because I thought that I had bad focus skills and I wasn't intelligent. And my brain had becoming a living artifact of these low scores in schools and these things that I thought of myself. So the reason you don't have what you want, whether it's more money, love, happiness, or whatever, is because your brain has become a living artifact. So I'm pumped because actually this weekend, John Assaraf does this free, it's once a year, it's life-changing, it's called the Brain-A-Thon. It's right there down below. It's JakeDucey.com/brain. It's totally free and it's absolutely life-changing. So like here I was doing my vision board, I was doing all my things, and I was not getting what I wanted. I did everything The Secret told me to. I did everything that YouTubers were telling me to do. And sometimes things would work, but a lot of times they didn't. And he goes, your brain is an artifact of your past. And I was like, what does that mean? And he went into all this detail. It's free, and I invite you to join it. I'll be on it again this year. You just sign up for it, and it's this weekend. And he goes on to share during that program that what he meant by that is every time you have a thought, or every time something happens, positive or negative, let's say you go to ask somebody out and they say no, or you get in a bad breakup in a relationship, or your parents tried to change their financial life, but they argued all the time and they got divorced over money, or you watch one of your close friends or family member go bankrupt, or get a lot of debt, or you did bad in school, or you failed at something when it came to your goal, or you got rejected. All of those things that that are very emotional, what they do is they fire chemicals in your brain, and they fire nerve cells. So I learned during the Brain-A-Thon that there is an actual, that's John's thing, there's an actual term in neuroscience for that. It's called Hebb's Law. And it says that brain cells that fire together wire together. And it's like, okay, what does that mean? think of like, a little blanket, right, that your grandma sewed. What is it? She's wiring a bunch of little pieces of twine together to create a blanket. Your brain is wiring a bunch of little nerve cells together to create the function of your brain. So if you watch your parents struggle, if you were in a bad breakup, if you were told you weren't smart enough, if you watched other people fail, if you turned on the news or your parents watched the news and, you grew up during the Depression, or for me, grew up during the major financial collapse that we had in like 08, 09, 2010, and everyone was struggling and stuff like that, that wires into your brain. And your brain is a living record of the past. So your brain carries that on, and it creates your reality and your thought patterns based off of that. So when the nerve cells that wire together, your brain creates a memory, and it wires into becoming the general functioning of your brain. It's kind of like, you have automatic reflexes, right? Like somebody's coming, you have an automatic reflex. Well, your brain has automatic reactions to create reality based off of the way that it's programmed. And I was like, I was sitting, it's online, his Brain-A-Thon, it's free, and I'm sitting there and I'm struggling. I hadn't made any money at all. I was actually at a point when I was getting this going that my now wife, was in debt because I couldn't even pay for electricity, groceries, anything. And I was like, why isn't this working? Like, why am I not getting what I want? And I was like, sitting there, and I was like, I just fell in love with this guy, John, instantly, because I was like, man, I get it now. My brain has become an artifact of my past of not good enough and not smart enough. And the same has probably happened for you, because we live in a world where a lot of the stuff, a lot of the outside influences are negative. So we're having unconscious chemical reactions in our brain to those things. And it creates the actual way, the neurocircuitry of your brain, the way your brain gets conditioned to fire. That's what creates your brainwave states, the electrical currents that move through your nervous system that create your emotions, your emotions, your energy and motion. It's dictated off the way your brain is wired. So if anything traumatic has happened in your past, if you watch other people fail, if you watch other people struggle, if your dad tried to start a business and he failed, if your parents argued about money, or your dad said money doesn't grow on trees when you ask them for something, or you saw your parents get divorced and you saw them argue over love, you got made fun of in school, whatever it was, it's wired into the brain. And so John teaches all of that and then shows you how to rewire your brain. See, and the secret movie and a lot of the stuff on YouTube isn't teaching that about the brain, and it's very important because fundamentally that's how it works. So people will use affirmations, they'll do these things, and it won't work. So I invite everyone to join me on the Brain-A-Thon. It's coming up this weekend. I'll be sitting there with my pen and pad, and I make my wife sit with me and watch it every single year. And it's totally free. It's jakeducey.com/brain, right there down below. So go ahead real quick before I move on in the video and just click in and just sign up real quick, and then they'll notify you when the actual Brain-A-Thon is about to start, coming up in a couple days. So click down right there. So why is this important? The reason this is important, that your brain is an artifact of the past, is because you can do affirmations. You can watch these YouTube videos. You can visualize. You can do your vision board. And a lot of the times it's not working as well as you would like. It doesn't mean the law of attraction doesn't work. What it means is your brain has been hardwired to a reality that is different than the thing you're consciously trying to manifest. So what happens is people go, I watch The Secret, I watch your YouTube videos, I'm fired up, and they say, I want this thing. More money, love, happiness, whatever it is. I want this thing. But their brain is wired for a different reality. So there's an incongruence. It's called incongruent manifesting, where your brain is at a different frequency. It's generating a different reality off the way that it's programmed. Now, the really exciting thing is a term called neuroplasticity and it's a term in neuroscience. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to change itself. So you can literally rewire your entire brain. And I learned all of this. I didn't know anything about any of this stuff until 3 years ago, I think, was the first year I watched Sean's Brain-A-Thon. And I was like, this makes sense. And eventually, that's why I created my own success hypnosis. That was how I started changing my life, because I said, okay, so if my brain is a living record of my past, it's an artifact of the past, and I'm allowed, and I can rewire that to be the reality that I want. I can wire my brain so neurocircuitry is programmed for success, happiness, love, all the things that I want. If I can do that, I'm going to make my life an experiment to do so. So I spent the next, I don't know, up until now, many years, working to rewire my brain. Hebb's law, brain cells that fire together, wire together. Nerve cells that fire together, wire together. So I started firing different nerve cells based off of the techniques and teachings that I had learned from John's Brain-A-Thon and just applying them to my life. And what I saw was, in 18 months, I made more money than I'd made in the previous 6 or 7 years of doing my career. I went from getting like 20 or 30 views on my YouTube video to over 300, and I think we have like 308,000 subscribers and 19 million views in the last about 17 months. And my life just changed. I found that I wasn't carrying around the same unhappy thought patterns anymore. And so what I'm telling you is that you can have everything that you want, and it's possible. And you don't need to beat yourself up if it hasn't happened yet. It's just because your brain is wired in a different way. So comment down below, I am free from my past. Comment that down below, I am free from my past. Start to separate your spirit from the way your brain has been wired. And go ahead and down below, jakeducey.com/brain. You'll see it right over there. And sign up for John's Brain-A-Thon. It's totally free. And, I'm excited to hear about the things that you create. I think it's often overlooked. The brain and the impact that the way your brain has been wired affects your life and what you're wanting to attract into your life. I had never even heard of any of this before. I'd never heard of neuroplasticity. I'd never heard of rewiring the brain. None of that. And it changed my life for forever. And so when John does this every year, I'm the first person to tell everyone I know about it. Try to get my mom, and my dad and everyone like that watching it this year, and it's life changing. So if you go down right there down below, sign up for it, totally free. It's online, and you'll get notified when it starts. And yeah, so looking forward to seeing you on it. I'll be on it, taking notes. Shoot me an email and let me know one of your favorite parts of it. And comment down below, I am free from my past. Sign up for John's Brain-A-Thon right there down below. jakeducey.com/brain. You can wire your brain to attract everything that you want, but you need to learn the keys and the fundamentals to literally do that. So John brings on neuroscientists, and he brings on all of these Harvard neuroscientists, and blending the law of attraction with neuroscience, and it's an amazing event. So it's totally free. jakeducey.com/brain right there down below. I love you. Have a beautiful day. Thank you for watching these videos, and talk to you next time.